Hello my friend. In this video you will learn some important aspects about network scanning. But before, make sure you watch previous video about host discovery. Network scanning is a process used to identify active devices, which is called host, services running on them, and other details about the system and network. It involves probing a network or a system with packets to gather useful information. Or we can say, network scanning is the technique in which the target network is scanned for active systems, open ports and vulnerabilities. When you know about your target, half the task of hacking is done. There are different ways to gather information about your target. As we saw in previous lectures, how to gather information using footprinting. But knowing basic information is not enough. Suppose you are an ethical hacker and want to find vulnerabilities in the system. You need a point in the system that you can try to attack. Network scanning for ethical hacking is used to find out these points in the system that a black hat hacker can use to hack the network. And then, the teams of ethical hacker work on improving the security of the network and some other weak points of the network. What is the difference between reconnaissance and network scanning? Reconnaissance is used to gather information and understand your target, and network scanning is a method used to find possible vulnerable points in the network through which you can hack the network. Network scans divide into two categories. Number 1, passive network scanning, and second, active scanning. Passive network scanning, which tracks data packets moving through a network, trying to find any irregularities. Passive scanning merely listens for traffic coming from devices on the network. On the other hand, active network scanning, which uses pings or packets to look for specific abnormalities within the network. We have different types of scanning technique. For example, ping sweep, port scanning, ARP scanning, SYN or half-open scanning, connect scanning, UDP scanning, and version detection scanning. Let's see one by one with short introduction. Ping sweep, also known as ICMP sweep or a ping scan, is a network scanning technique you can use to find out which IP addresses map to live hosts. In contrast to a single ping, a ping sweep uses ICMP echo requests to communicate with multiple hosts at the same time. Port scanning involves scanning a host to check which network ports are open or closed. ARP scanning involves the use of ARP requests and replies to discover devices, a local area network, since ARP operates at layer 2 of the OSI model and is used for mapping IP addresses to MAC addresses. It can be a useful method for identifying active hosts on a network, even if they do not respond to ping requests. SYN or half-open scanning is a technique used in network reconnaissance to identify open ports on a target system without establishing a full TCP connection. This method exploits the TCP three-way handshake, which is used to establish a reliable connection between devices. Connect scanning uses the connect system call to try and establish a full TCP connection with the target machine. If the connection is successful, the port is open. UDP scanning involves sending UDP packets to the target hosts. If an ICMP port unreachable error is returned, the port is closed. If there's no response, the port might be open. Version detection scanning helps to determine the version of the services running on open ports. When we walk into our network or connect to our laptop, etc., first we will check our IP address. Here our IP address is 10.0.2.15/24-bit subnet. Let's scan this. We will use Nmap tool. Don't worry, we will bring complete course on Nmap scanning in upcoming lectures. Here just overview. Here we will see how many hosts are up in particular subnet. We have these 3 hosts are up. This is our Nmap report. Let's do another type of scan. stmean, scan type of TCP. And specify port range. From 1 to 1000. There are several timing options available, but here I will use insane option. In the last give IP address, we have these services are open on a specific ports. That's it in this video. See you next time.